How you doing, guys? Welcome to Monday. Welcome to our monthly goal setting sessions. I'm Richard Crawford Small. Really pleased to be here to kick all this off. Say please, you can't see anything. Just put my glasses on. There we go. That's better. Now I can see everybody. Not that I can see you because this is Facebook Live. So we'll wait a couple of minutes just to get everybody before you all come in. Really interactive session today. This is all about you. This is all about us helping you. This is all about us extracting from you your goals for the rest of the month and helping you to essentially achieve those goals. One of the biggest challenges that we see every day in aesthetic entrepreneurs are people tripping over themselves through lots of different reasons. And for me, one of the big things, there's a lack of proper, effective goal setting. So today I'm joined by our pocket rocket, Stevie Potter, to take you on this journey, this odyssey through goal setting. So take a minute, get yourselves a nice little glass of water, get yourself some pens, some paper, clear your mind, and stand by to get involved. This is a workshop. This is, work by definition, workshop, master class, whatever you want to call it, right? But you're here to do some work, and we're here to guide you through it. So, without further ado, let me introduce you to Stevie.
Hey! You can't put my jazz
There you go. That'll do.
Thank you.
So how you doing?
Thank you. Yeah, all right. I mean, I won't bore you with the details, but yeah, we're all
Thank
good.
you. Much appreciated. So straight into it then. So we got an hour. Who we got? We got Lou. Hello. Hey, how you doing? We've got Elaine. Hello, Elaine. We've got Sarah. Hi, how you doing? There are other people watching, but they're just being shy. So we're going to
Don't be shy.
They're being shy. They're not saying hi, not letting us know what's going on. So, in the Aesthetic Entrepreneurs Membership Program, I asked a question yesterday. And the question was that if you knew you couldn't fail, what would you do? What would you do tomorrow? And we've had some responses from people, but if you're watching this, you're not in the AE membership group, you wouldn't have seen that. But it'd be great to hear from you if you're watching this right now, okay, that if you knew that you couldn't fail, what would you do? Because I think that's what, for me, is one of the first sort of steps around the whole sort of goal setting really is to kind of just try to lose the fear a little bit. What do you reckon, Stevie?
Yeah, actually, I saw that question. I thought it was really, really hard. I had to think quite a long time about it. And I tell you why. I'm blowing my own trumpet here. I on a daily basis just get out of my comfort zone. I'm like, right, I want to go do that, and I just go and do it. So it was really hard for me because I was like, what things do I ever think about? Because I think I've really got out of the habit of thinking about failure, really. But yeah, okay. Hard question.
So if you knew you couldn't fail, I think if you just take the fear out of things, right? And you remove all of that, then I think people are obviously, it sounds, obvious, right? You're braver.
Yeah.
But it's the fact that the failure is there, that the risk of failure is there, that makes it worthwhile in the first place.
I think also sometimes actually saying these things. Do you remember when you said to me, if you did all your personal bests and stuff, could you be a world champion? And I was like, yeah. And you were like, you've never said that before. And I was like, no, because I feel if I say it out loud, there's a risk I might not do it. And then you'll laugh at me.
Exactly, right? So if you say it out loud, what does that do to the goal, right? So I'm going to give everybody a definition of goal setting, and we've got a workbook and everything like that. But say for the first few minutes in this, I want to get people comfortable with saying things out loud, right? Because you don't. It's, I'd like to do that. Wouldn't it be nice if?
I hate stuff like that.
Yeah. What would you like to do? Well, do you know what? In an ideal world, I'd really like to do that.
Wouldn't
Right?
it be lovely if?
Wouldn't it be lovely if? Yes, clearly it would be lovely if. That's because you would, you would say it, right? But for me, it's like, right, grow a pair, right? Wouldn't it be lovely if? Well, it's not fucking lovely. It's what you're going to do. So, so I want people to, if you're listening to this, I want you to write down in the comment what it is. I don't give a shit. It's a fact, yeah. You can put it. It would be really lovely if. Right? But whatever it is, if you knew you couldn't fail, I want you to write it in the comments. Let's take the first step, right, towards doing something special. This is 2022. And just a bit of a picture on all of this, right? We've just come out of a pretty shitstorm. It's been shite, right? So, if you can get through that, I'm pretty sure that there's not much else around the corner that we can really knock you off course. So if now is the time you want to achieve something, I'd say go for it, but commit and write down what it is. So, for example, Stevie, when I challenged you, what is it we challenged you to do?
What did you challenge me to do this? As in now?
Yeah.
Go out and be a world champion in triathlon.
World champion to win the world championships.
It's still scary for me to say that, but like the more I say it, the better it gets. I actually put it in my, did my goal setting with it and everything. So
yeah. So but when you said it out loud, how did you feel?
Bit scared, a bit like, oh, okay, pressure's on.
Yeah.
But now I say it out loud quite a lot, and it's a goal now, because now I was like, wouldn't it be lovely if I could go to Montreal and I could win? And now it's like, okay, go and do that. That's the goal now.
Because when I spoke to Usain Bolt all those years ago, and I said to him, what's your goal? And he said, yeah, man, it'd be really nice if I could be Olympic champion in 100 and 200 meters and hold the world record. No, he didn't say any of that.
No, he said it would be lovely if I could eat 10 chicken nuggets and then do it.
Exactly, yeah. He was like, it was clear goal. That's what he was going to do. So, and for for me, for me, my goals have been linked around ascetic entrepreneurs for quite a long time. But there are actually things that they're starting to separate. So, yes, I want ascetic entrepreneurs to become the leading ascetic support organisation in the world, right? But you think, well, why is that? Why do I want it to be the best in the world, right? Being the best in England just be perfectly fine, right? That's a good goal. Why best in the world? Because because that means I have to travel, and that's one of my goals is to experience different cultures, to live outside the UK, to experience different things, set up different offices in AE over the world. And I created a digital business to enable me to do that. So now it's the big step. Now it's well, come on then, Billy Big Balls. What are you going to do? So the brave part, the step then is outside my comfort zone. The goal set is I have to set up and open the US office.
But you do that because it's like you say, it's saying it out loud, isn't it?
Yeah.
So many people don't say stuff out loud. They just, I don't know.
Yeah.
Does people just spend their life being like, oh, wouldn't it be lovely if, and then like just stay the same? They just stay. That's the thing. You just stay the same. If you never say it out loud, you just stay the same all the time, right? And then you look back on the last 12 months, and you're like, oh, I'm the same now as I was 12 months ago. That's horrible.
Stay the same. You just stay the same. Mm-hmm. So who's been brave in the comments, right? So I'm going to start picking on you. Some people couldn't get in, but you're here now. Amazing. So we've got Sarah, bold, to launch a training academy. Congratulations, well done, right? So we're going to launch a training academy. Why? So this is it. This is the engagement bit, right? This is the bit where you come in. Why do you want to launch a training academy? Lou, buy my house so I have freedom. I want to support myself and my kids, and I want a premises for work. Be financially stable. That's a very good goal.
That's big. I like that. There's loads of elements to that.
I like that.
That's solid.
Because one of the things when you look at these, and I agree, is I think sometimes people get the goal and outcome confused. So when you talk about goal setting, right? So for example, right, launching a training academy. Is launching a training academy a goal or an outcome? I actually think that's an outcome. If you carry out a series of tasks That's one of the things that will happen. When I ask you why you want to launch a training academy, answer that question, because that's going to take us closer to your goal. So jump in. Hey, Kelly. Yay! It would be lovely.
Wouldn't it be lovely if, Kelly? Wouldn't it be lovely?
Wouldn't it be lovely if I could get financial independence, workers' time, and spend my time competing in dressage? I'm not sure what workers' time is, but that doesn't sound fun.
I think Kelly just made that up. Is that like to do with the entrepreneur time zone?
I think so, probably. Working. We'll assume that means work whenever you like.
Yeah.
And dressage. Awesome. Okay. So brilliant. Okay. Fatima, to be able to do aesthetics full time. Why? Why do you want to do aesthetics full time? We're getting there. We're digging in. This is it. And then
we'll
once
get
we
some
get to
whys coming in now.
we're going to get some whys. Why? Okay, so Sarah's jumped in. Says to share my passion for eradicating skin complaints. Okay, so again, that's an outcome. So, what do you want to do when you grow up? I'd like to share my passion for eradicating skin complaints. Why?
Said nobody ever.
Said nobody ever. Okay, so why? Why do you want to do that? Elaine, to be the go-to aesthetic clinic in my geographical area. Love that. Why? There's an exercise called the 5 Whys, which is in the Aesthetic Entrepreneurs in Changing Faces book. Mm-hmm. Very, very powerful exercise. If you haven't done it, I recommend you go and do it. Because we're starting right at the beginning with this whole goal setting challenge, which is a lot of these are outcomes. And the goal, for this to work, you have to be emotionally connected to the goal at a very, very deep level. So, for example, right, Stevie, why do you want to become world champion?
Because I want to be the best possible person I can be and prove to everybody else that I can do it as well.
Why is it important for you to prove to everybody else that you can do that?
Because I was never good at sport at school. I was always a bit pants, and everyone just thought I was a nerdy kid.
So why is it important for you to prove that you're not the nerdy kid and that you're not pants?
Because that's a really hard question. I don't think we've ever gone down this pathway before. I hate it when you do stuff like this live to me.
Well, make you be honest.
I hate that. Because all the sporty kids were really cool and I wasn't very cool and I'm not very cool. I'd like to be cool for a bit. Is that all right? Can that be cool all right? I want to be a bit cool.
You want I'll let you off the hook. You want to feel differently.
Yeah.
Yeah? You want to feel different. Feel like a success, perhaps. Your definition of success is to feel like that. And a lot of what we do is related to how we're treated when we're kids. I've got a huge chip on my shoulder, massive. I'm a very well balanced individual. I have a chip on both my shoulders, and a lot of that's down to not having a particularly strong educational upbringing, not having an awful lot of money. So I have a distrust of wealthy, well-educated people, big distrust. So but a lot of my drive is to kind of compete at a certain level to prove that I'm worthy of all of that.
I think we both approach things like bulldozers for the same reasons, right?
Exactly. And it's all complete bullshit, right? I mean, if you looked at it, it's like, well, anybody would look at it and go, well, that doesn't really matter. But the important thing is it matters to us. Mm-hmm. So the drive, that's what I'm connected to my goal, is to prove that I am worthy. And I'm open about that. I'm very, very open about that. And the truth of the matter is if you're listening to this, is you have got to be as honest and as accepting of that as we are, right? Whether or not you think it, whether or not it's, bullshit or your significant other thinks it's a waste of time, it's irrelevant. It's how you feel. So the first thing is you've got to get connected and emotionally connected to the goal. Otherwise, when it gets hard, you will bail out. Simple. And when you go back to some of these points, like, I want to do aesthetics full time, I want to do this, I want to do that, they're not strong enough. They're not.
Yeah, there's so many difficult points along the way, aren't there? Like, it's just too easy to just be like, oh, that's not very inspiring, is it?
Yeah.
Why? I'll just give up. What's the consequences?
Got to inspire yourself. So let's pick up a few more. So Penny, hello to Adelaide. We've got
Hi,
Hi
Adelaide!
Adelaide, global business, as we say. To be financially stable by making my new clinic the best in Adelaide that would validate all the years of study. Interesting one, to validate all the years of study. Why is that important to you? Why is it important
What?
to you to validate that? As a
The key word there is validation, isn't it?
validation. As a medical professional, you know, validation is a key thing. It's, you know, I've invested all of this time, energy, and money, and I don't want it to be perceived or feel like I've basically burnt it. By the way, I did that. I scooped lots of money into a centre of a room, set fire to it. It's called iConsult. We all fucking do it. So
Yeah, when I told you I'd spent all those money on certificates, and you were like, "Here, I just wrote you one," and held up some, I don't know what.
That's right, yeah.
And I was like, "Oh my god, I don't think we can be friends anymore.
That's
I'm gonna
right.
just go and lie down in a cold dark room for a while."
No, you said, is there a course on entrepreneurialism I can do, and can I get a certificate? And I literally, ladies and gentlemen,
You were like, "What do you want?" Like the guy out of the notebook, and I was like, "A certificate," and you were like, "Okay," and then give me 10. And
Yeah,
this
give me a
he's
minute.
doing live now what he did to me. Eternally grateful. I printed it out.
Right, there you go. If anybody else would like a certificate, just pop in the comments, say I'd like a certificate, and I will quite happily send you one out, as elegantly designed as that one.
And the thing is, we'll pay for them as well. We love to pay for certificates. You charge £5 for those, we'll love it. We'll think it's worth something.
You know, what was your level 7? 15 grand? There you go, 15 grand, that's what I'll charge.
It's kind of cold sweat.
Right, anyway, back to the point. So Kelly, right, why is it important? It's important, Kelly because she wants to work less time. Okay, again, why is it important for you to work less time? We're getting to the point, and you can understand. I think now you can see as we move down this process, and this is essentially the whole point of being coached. This is what it's like, right? So, Fatima, you want to leave your current job. You know what's coming, don't you? Why? Why do you want to leave your current job? Laura, my problem is I don't know exactly what I want. Yeah, you do. You're just not willing to say it.
Yeah, you need to get some honesty out there and just
yeah, you absolutely know what you want to do. Mm-hmm. You're just afraid of saying it out loud.
I know that because I know that feeling. Because before you made me be like, go out there and don't make up the numbers. Go win. What do you want to be? A world champion. I'm sorry. Yes, you do.
Yeah, you know, exactly. And that was when things all changed for you at that point, didn't it?
Yes, and now I'm super successful, and I tell everybody else to go out there and be a world champion too. So it's quite a good career now.
Do you remember the big thing that happened almost immediately after you saying I want to be world champion? What did you do?
I went and got a coach.
Bang! You went and got a coach because when I met you, you were I'm a self-coached triathlete, and I'm like
I was super proud of it. I'm still super proud of it.
Super proud of it. Yeah, I'm so great. I coach myself, and I was like, really? Okay, fair enough. We'll not challenge that one too much. And then it was, well, I want to be world champion. And I'm like, yeah, you'll get a coach. No, well, I don't need a coach. And I said to you, how many world champions don't have coaches?
Yeah, and I was like, I don't know because I don't know any because I need to move in those circles more.
Yeah, that's none. So anyway, and you know, and also, by the way, if this seems like one-way traffic, by the way, Stevie is my coach on performance, and she gives as good as she gets. But this is my show, so when we turn into Stevie's show on the Paladins, and she can give me as much shit as she likes, it's my show.
Can't wait.
So I get to drive the narrative here. So don't feel sorry for her. Don't. What have I done? There we go.
You've just made yourself really small.
That was do you know what that was? Maybe that was metaphorical, wasn't it? That was the universe just telling me. Shut the fuck up.
My massive head now.
Right. Okay. So Elaine's saying, my why. I love collaborating with my patients to achieve their goals. Often their goal is tangible, but I have the additional outcome of improved self-confidence. Okay. So why is it important for you to help your clients achieve their goals? You thought you got to the bottom of it then, didn't you, Elaine? You were like, yeah, done it, nailed it. No, there's another level underneath this one. Why? Look at that. Stevie, you are beyond cool. There you go.
Mum, I made it! I'm cool! Yay!
Yeah, the official Brown Nose Award goes to Elaine. Zara's here. Zara, apparently this is deep. Love it. You think this is deep? Wait until the boot camp. You haven't seen nothing yet. You'll be crying in your tea halfway through that. But when you come out the other side, you will be reborn, like reborn badass. Nisha, one-stop wellness centre with medical aesthetics, wellness. Established successful business. We have financially free to do the things I enjoy. Travel and a good old-fashioned spend up. Good.
Who doesn't love a splurge?
Who doesn't love a splurge? Okay, so why? Why is it important for you to travel and spend money? What is the secret? What is the feeling that what's it missing? What's it going to fill? There we go. That's where we're getting to. And you get to that when you're going to solve that particular problem. That sense of worth, that sense of belonging, that, even sometimes just a good old-fashioned fuck you. That's as good, That's essentially...
I think, essentially, whatever the why is, you should, as soon as you say it, something happens and this fire happens inside you and you just suddenly ignite and you're like, yeah, I've got it. Like, that's what should happen when you get to it.
That's what happens. You should light up. You should light up. So, to be financially stable, to purchase my forever home and purchase my own clinic, the clinic to be the most trusted clinic in the area. Great. So, stability, purchase. There's the pride of ownership, but there's also stability is a big one coming through there. Trust, right?
It was a big trusted clinic. That's an interesting word.
Why is that important to you? Why is it important for you to? And I'll be open, because I'll share with you how I'm feeling, and it may help you guys. Because if you're sitting there just thinking you don't want to share how you're feeling, that's perfectly okay. I'll just do it anyway. Stability, right? So a lot of us, you grow up in, as they call it, blended families now. Broken homes is what it was called when I was a kid, right? Just like, you've got a broken home. No, they broke it, a blended family. And, childhood poverty, stability, all these sorts of things leave scars. They leave an impact. So we want to do the best for our kids, and we sometimes feel that the best thing that we can do is to create a stable environment for them, to help them thrive. Not saying it's the right thing, not saying it's the wrong thing. It's just what's right for you. But again, own it. There's nothing wrong with that. I want to create a stable environment for my kids. Who doesn't want to do that? So, but that is going to connect you far more to your goal than just saying, I want to purchase my own home, or I want to purchase my own this, or I want to own that. Ownership is bullshit. You can create a stable environment for your family without having to own anything. You just need to have a couple of, you've got a load of money in the bank, you've got a stable environment. You might not own the home, you're renting, but if got cash in the bank, maybe there are different ways of you achieving it. So if you say what you want to achieve, the goal, you're opening up far more ways of doing that. Maybe to be financially stable, to create that environment, you don't need to have a clinic. Maybe a property portfolio might be the idea. Collect art, buy motorcycles, become a world champion. There's lots of different ways you can do this, but allow yourself to connect with the goal. There we go.
Yeah, and there's also nothing wrong with saying that your goal is to make a shitload of money because you were poor once. That's absolutely fine.
Yeah. My goal is to stick it to the man.
Yeah, that's fine. All right.
Perfect. So to have more freedom, right? What are you going to do with that freedom? Everyone's just like, we didn't know this was going to happen.
I don't know what I want.
I don't know what I want.
I need freedom and money.
I turned up here just expecting to have to write shit down and him to tell me all the answers. Why am I having to do all of this? No one told me this was going to happen in aesthetics. I thought I'd just do a course, do a Botox course and then open a clinic and that's it. No, why am I having to dig into my deepest desires?
Yeah, well, we all thought that. I just turned up to you hoping for a logo. Look at what's happened. I'm in this shit real deep now.
And I said, why did you want a logo?
Because don't start that.
All right, let's pick on some other people. Right, spend more time with Don competing and travelling. Why? So, you want to have a successful aesthetic business so you can spend more time with your horse.
For those who don't know who Don is.
Yes, for those of you who do not know who Don is. Yes,
The Don.
Don is a horse, an actual horse. Sonia, how you doing? Oh, and by the way, welcome, Sonia. Nice to meet. Welcome to AE. Welcome to all of this. To be recognised, go to in my area. To be financially stable, take time out when needed to spend time with my kids and family. Enjoy the financial freedom that a good setup can bring. Okay, so how's that going to make you feel when you get that? What is it going to look like? Where are you? Visualise it. So you're spending time with your kids' family. Where are you? And you're in your mind. Visualise it. Where are you stood? Are you on holiday? You know, a lot of people, we have these visions of going. You know, the beach holiday as being the ideal. You know, we're going with the family and we're sat on the beach. I actually find beach pretty dull, to be fair. But you know, so it's not my go-to. I like. Don't know what I like actually. It's been so long since I've been on holiday.
I thought you'd love the beach. You're a tropical man, you once told me.
I'm a tropical man, but you know the climate when things are warm. But you know,
maybe you'd like to go mountain biking.
I do. I like to do some active stuff. Do you know what? I kind of like people. I just like people. I like meeting people. And you know, getting drunk with them. Going to strange, faraway places, and just hi, how you doing? Do you want a beer? And then get a piss with someone. You know, that for me sometimes is really cool. I'm going to New York at the end of the month, and one of the things I'm doing there is I'm going to a karate class in New York.
That's going to be awesome.
Yeah, just because I've always wanted to do that ever since I was a kid, watching the Last Dragon and like kung fu movies. A lot of them were based in New York. And wanted to go to, and actually go and train there. So, even though it's pushed me right outside my comfort zone, and I'm just thinking, fuck, do I take the gi? Do I really want to do it? I'm not going to know anyone. I'm not going to have any friends. I'm going to walk in, be like all scared, and sit in the corner.
I'm only a white belt.
Yeah, I'm only a white belt. Please don't beat me up. So what? If I don't do it, how am I going to feel? Like a failure. Don't want to feel like that. Kelly. I want my own clinic instead of a room in a shared unit in 12 months' time. Like that, it's very specific. Good. In 12 months' time, we can do it in 6. Because I don't want to be limited by my environment. I want to provide better services and a better patient experience. Okay. So, from a goal point of view, that's around services. So you want to provide a better patient experience. Why? And that might sound like an obvious question. Why do you want to provide a better patient experience? But see if you can dig in and find out the reasoning behind that. Have you had a negative experience yourself? Are you looking to fix something? For one of the things I'm looking at, again, going to the States in New York, is the service levels in the United States versus the service levels in the UK are night and day. And I think it's time, actually, that we bring some of that over and raise the standard a little bit. And if it means we've got to pay people more money, then we've got to pay people more money. But I think we've got away with being really shit for a long time. And people are paying good money for food, drinks, and honestly, the attitude of some of the people serving, it's just horrendous. And, you don't get away with that. My mum lives in Houston, and she doesn't come over here as much as she used to for that particular reason. Is it's just really stressful for her. I want to see the manager. You get bored of saying that sometimes.
Don't you also think though, like on that same level, like Americans are way more aspirational. Like they'll literally come out and be big hitters. Like I'm going to do this and I'm going to do it now. And they can say the craziest things, and you'll be like, okay, you're going to do that because you totally mean it. You believe in it.
Yeah. I mean, definitely a very. I find it much more aggressive. And this is not in a negative way. I've worked for American companies, and they're very different in their approach. So when we were from a sales point of view, it was very, very sales driven, very focused. It's like, right, this is what we want to do. How are we going to do it? And push. And you hit the number, bang, bang, bang. If you didn't hit the number, you were gone.
And I don't think we should be as harsh as that. But I think there's definitely a little bit of American seasoning we could maybe
Yeah,
sprinkle
yeah,
on the
yeah, yeah.
little English goal setting workshop here. Instead of saying, wouldn't it be lovely if, maybe we could be like, if you don't achieve that, then, come on, why not?
Yeah,
Get on with
exactly.
it.
Hold yourself accountable to the goal. And I think that's one of the things that, yeah, we are very polite about things. And almost so polite that we don't get what we want.
Yeah.
Oh, it's okay. After you. Yeah, I did it the other day. All right, I was going up to the counter in Sainsbury's. I was blatantly before this guy. But, he got there and he's like, after you. No, after you. What would you like? He's like, I'd like 2 cooked chickens, please. For fuck's sake. How many cooked chickens were there left? 2.
How many did you want?
I wanted 2 cooked chickens. I out-polited with myself. So I had to wait.
You got no chicken.
It wasn't a massive disaster. I had to wait like 5 minutes for another cooked chicken. But, it's the thing. If that had been US, it would have been like, boom, 2 chickens, bro. That's it. Sorry.
Yeah.
I'm here. I was here first. I'm getting the chicken.
You see, you should have been more vocal and honest about your goal in that particular moment, which was, I need 2 cooked chickens right now.
There we go. I want 2 cooked chickens.
To go and do chicken boxing.
That's for another story. Chicken boxing is another story. Lou, here we go. Look at this. Pow! My God.
Wow.
I'm reeling from the power of this. This is spot on, Lou. And first thing is, well done for being as honest as this, because this is what it's all about. I want to prove I'm not worth this and can actually succeed, and want to be able to support myself now as I can't and it's not good. Now that is power and accountability and honesty at the level it needs to be at. Because now you've said it, and I imagine you're feeling quite emotional, because I'm feeling quite emotional reading that. So I imagine you writing that down, that's put you in quite a weird kind of headspace. But you know it's there. You can start to mobilize the resources to help you to actually achieve all of that. So first things first is, you said I want to prove I'm not worthless. We help you with your headspace, your mindset, right? What is it that's actually making you feel worthless? Because we get you right here, you'll fly. The biggest challenge we have is when we got to have to fix you first, and your headspace, mindset, put a bit of steel behind you, get some wins, and things start to grow. So, you're in the right place for that. Absolutely in the right place. And it also is a very supportive environment. So, yeah, fair. Well done for that.
I think a lot of people feel the same. They just don't want to admit it. Like, that's something that comes out a lot in one-to-one conversations with people is, well, it's fear, isn't it? It's imposter syndrome. It's this one-to-one. It's like, oh, I'm worthless. I don't know. I'm frightened. I'm scared.
Yeah, I'm scared. Yeah, I'm scared. I don't know what to do. We'll help you. Okay, Louise. To have 5 clinics around the Northwest and help as many clients feel confident again. I do this because I'm in aesthetics for 16 years. Work for large companies, working my way up the ladder to never be good enough to be MD. My dad always told me to open my own clinic and be my own MD. So I opened up Fab Aesthetics in his legacy before he passed. Oh, awesome. Cool. That's
made me have a little tear.
That's awesome.
I didn't cry.
That's really cool. So there's a few things there, and one is I kind of know what you mean about the whole not being good enough to be MDs in different companies, working for large companies. Don't allow that to determine what you're saying. Let me try and find actually a better way of explaining that, because that didn't make any sense. But that may not have been the truth. So again, having worked in large companies myself, you're pushed to go up the ladder. So there's a job role: managing director, vice president, business unit director, national sales manager, all these titles. And if you don't get there, then you have your career has failed. And that's just not true. And I'm glad you actually stepped out of it and did it yourself, because you now know that. My path was just never going to be, I'm just unemployable. I can't do as I'm told. And if I want to do something, I'm going to go and do it. regardless of whether or not someone is paying my wages. And that was my big problem. I had a way of doing things, and generally it was successful, but not successful in the way that people wanted me to do it. So if you're working for someone else, how the hell are you ever going to thrive?
Mhm.
So find my own path, do things my own way. Shit works, right? Great to see that you did that, and it's great that you had the opportunity to do that and demonstrate that to your dad before we passed. But now, put your fucking foot down, because now this is for you, and you've done the part to honour his legacy, and you are honouring that every day. But now we're going to put your foot down hard, because you want the 5 around the northwest, 5 around the, is it northeast? Northwest, yeah. Yeah, it's fine. But the one thing you have to do with that is make sure that you've got one working so well, because otherwise what you do is you replicate problems. So you've got to get 1 or 2 working beautifully and scale it in a way, in a sustainable way. Good for you, Claire. 2 full days of aesthetics every week. Sweet. Okay. Why?
Saw that coming.
Why?
What a surprise!
Why? God damn it. Okay, before you post anything now, I want you to do why. Let's get the underlying current out, and then we'll talk a little bit about the goal setting methodology, and then basically next steps. Because yeah, this is great stuff. This is really good. Okay, Michelle, I want to smash the VAT threshold in the next 2 years. Why? I was told not to leave the NHS. I did. I love proving people wrong as my business grows. Awesome. Like Nisha, guilt-free splurges would be good. Grew up with that much money and grew older, always stretched. There we go. I love that. Guilt-free splurges. Yeah.
There's a common theme here as well. People wanting to leave, like people leaving jobs or wanting to leave jobs because actually everybody just wants to stick it to somebody. Like revenge is also okay. I'm good with that. I did a lot of that and I really enjoyed it. Like, just gonna throw it out there. Revenge is sweet. I mean, don't let it fuel you entirely, but it's quite cool. I like it.
Spite for me is an absolutely perfectly reasonable thing to do. You know, why did you do it? Because he was a dick. You know, it's a perfectly reasonable thing to do. I mean, there's former bosses I have. I think I wrote about one of them in Changing Faces. The day I decided to have my leave was the day I could not get the picture out of my head of me putting him through a wall. Just
that's time to go then.
Yeah, I could almost hear the sound that his body would make as it's passed it through the wall. Then I hadn't even noticed it. But yeah, and I can't remember exactly what it was. I think I got a public bollocking or something, but something like that. But yeah, it's about, you know, sticking it to people, proving, you know, revenge. The best revenge is to have a fantastic life.
Oh yeah, like the day I decided to go out on my own was the day somebody told me, you can't get any more money, you're not a high earning associate, you're only just keeping your head above water. And I was like, not true, bye, here's my notice. And everyone followed me.
Yeah, the associate dentist thing is a bit of a weird model for me, but that's for a discussion for another time. Another time. Here's Amy. For those of you who don't know, Amy Crawford-Small is my sister. She's not really actually my wife. I'm joking. So
that was weird. I didn't enjoy it.
It's like, you were just like, ooh, no, that's just wrong. Anyway, Amy, I love. I want to have the financial security to be able to do what I want when I want. It's about freedom and stop feeling like the super geeky misfit I was in school. School's got a lot to answer for, hasn't it?
Schools are terrible places. Like, I wasn't even bullied or anything at school because I just beat people up if they got in my way. So I was like kind of cool, but not. I think I was just weird. I think I still am. I think I was just a bit of an enigma. But yeah, they're just messed up. They're like, it's just really... It's the jungle in school. I don't ever want to go back to school. Everyone's like, your school days are the best days of your life. And I'm like, they are legit not. They are not.
They really weren't. They really were not. I just weren't.
If anybody else out there is scarred from school and you're including that in your why, good for you. I hear you.
Yeah, we can all relate to that because school was shit.
Yeah.
Funny is, school's so shit. We all think it's shit. Why are we still doing it?
You know, I see more and more people now that are homeschooling their kids, and I'm like, good for you, because the kids are just doing great and they're having such a nice life, and I'm
Yeah.
like, I'm so proud of you as parents. Thank you.
Well, yeah, we are. I think as I don't think you'll mind us saying it, but yeah, my number one son is he's now working for a set of entrepreneurs, so
And doing a great job.
much better job than he is at school. So Michelle was a misfit. I think there's a common thread in that. People, I think, like attracts like. Okay, so we're all gonna be misfits in this. I'm trying. There was a. How was I a misfit? For actually, to be honest with you, is being mixed race was a bit of a misfit because I had my feet in two cultures, and I never really fitted in either of them. So it was, that was an odd kind of 1980s Britain. Growing up in Thatcher's Britain, mixed race, skin, high levels of unemployment. I think I just connected with people who were skint because it didn't really matter what colour you were, but you always felt like a little bit of a misfit and a little bit out of place. Well, I did anyway. Until I joined up, and I joined the Navy, and honestly, it didn't really matter. You were a sailor 9 times that. So, yeah, weird. Anyway, right. So, okay, bang, bang, bang. I've dropped off. Okay. It's a good one from Penny. Cool. Okay. Can you elaborate on how and why US clinic services are better? Yeah, I mean, basically, what I kind of caveat is I'm not talking about the clinical services. That's not really my place to talk about. I'm not a clinician. I'm not medical. Never been involved in that world. I just sold shit. And so I'm not going to say clinical food is better, but for me, from a pure customer service culture, the US are streets ahead. If you look at the 5 most valuable companies in the world, they're American. If you look at the top companies, pretty much in every single sector are American. If you look at companies when it profit per head or per employee, they're generally American. And the reason, for me, I purely believe the reason is because their customer retention is higher than most other businesses. And the reason their customer retention is higher is because they have this customer service in their DNA. Go and experience. If you've never been, go and experience it. And don't judge, US by what you see in the UK. Go to the US and go into any restaurant, and you're called sir or ma'am. It's just a completely different experience to what you get in the UK.
I think in my mind is the thing that sticks out is my dad always used to tell me before, I think because I only went when I was about 2 and I haven't been back, and Dad was like, yeah, when you go to a cafe, they just give you refillable coffee, like you can never leave because they just keep refilling your coffee like all the time. And I was like, that's the attitude though, isn't it? Like they just want to make sure that you're catered for all of the time and that you're happy all of the time. I'm just going to keep refilling your coffee cup. Like
there was one experience I did have in Houston where I wish they hadn't have done that, because I was sat next to Isaac, my son, who was at that point about 10, I think he was, and might have been younger, and he was drinking chocolate milk. And they kept, and he's this little kid from the UK. He was like, "This is awesome! Literally, the more I drink, the more they give me." And he's sitting there, and I didn't even notice that he was just loading up on chocolate milk. And then all of a sudden, it's just like, "Oh, I don't feel very well." Go with him. Like, go with him. Go with him. Yeah, it's like it came out of him. It was just like out of his nose, mouth. It's all in one hit. Like literally pints of it. I was like, Jesus, we have to take him home.
When customer service strikes back.
Yeah, went in, sat down, he's alright, sat down, smashed in 4 pancakes.
Love it. See, American breakfast, like, I think if everyone aims to replicate that level of customer service in their business, like, you got it. You nailed it.
So, absolutely. So that's it. So we've got to so, and I say I'll be bringing back from New York some thoughts. I mean, in fact, I might even do a few Facebook lives while I'm there actually, and explore that whole customer service culture and see if I can undercover for Ascetic Entrepreneurs why it's in the DNA and how that all works. That'd be quite useful, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it would be really good.
That would be quite cool. Okay, right, cool. Okay, so time is moving on. time is moving on. So we'll take a couple more comments, and then we'll move on to the goal setting methodology, and then how are we going to help you, or what we're going to be doing over the next 4 weeks, and introduce you to the AE program. So, okay. Kelly, I want the satisfaction of knowing patients are having incredible experience. I want the credibility. I want the recognition. I love it. Recognition.
Yeah.
I think, food, shelter, sex, recognition, self-actualization. Maslow's
Water.
hierarchy.
You missed out water.
Wi-Fi. Broadband.
Yeah.
Here we go. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So Claire, bang straight in. Is all these goals making me feel this is about human connections, i.e., Maslow's hierarchy of needs? Absolutely. I think this is what our job is. Our job is to create human-to-human engagement, right? And the digital world is great, and it's played a big part in it, and it's helped us through pandemics, etc. But it's also quite divisive. And I believe my job is to help you guys connect with your clients in a way that you currently don't do it. And the first step is I've got to get you to connect with yourselves, connect with your goals, understand what they are, really believe that you want to solve these problems, achieve these goals, and then hand you over to, the machine that is Stevie to help basically to maintain the accountability, because you can either talk to me or you can deal with her. It's like,
Evil cackle here.
Evil cackle. Yeah. It's like you've got Arnold, Terminator there going, So, but absolutely, it's about understanding all of these sorts of things. And this is why I think AE is different to a lot of other businesses in the aesthetics market. The way I approach it is I understand that it's human to human, and it's not just about building the business and building all of that. Business is irrelevant if the person running the business isn't happy, isn't functioning, isn't firing, isn't performing at a proper level, isn't getting enough sleep, stressed to fuck. All of these sorts of things. The business is irrelevant if those things aren't in place. So step number 1 is clarity. Get this out into the open so we can deal with it. If we can see it, we can deal with it. The resources that we have. I might not have all the answers. Good chance that's true. But I'll probably know someone who can help. And that's what we need. That's what we do. But if you're not upfront honest with yourself, how the hell are we supposed to help? So that's step 1. But yeah, twat, lol. That happens a lot.
Just a daily occurrence. It could be about any number of things that you've already said.
Yeah, I think Amy probably literally just logged, just come on, yeah, whatever. I hadn't even said anything. In fact, that's probably worth a screenshot. Just do a quick screenshot of that. There we go, quick screenshot, because this is my life. It's the abuse that I get. Okay. That didn't work. I've got to do it again. Hang on.
Brilliant.
Yeah. Right, there we go. Okay. High School was awful. I read that almost like High School Musical was awful. I'll agree on both counts.
Yeah, both.
Okay. So, wow.
That's my face is gone.
Brilliant. Let's have more like that. Why? More job satisfaction. Aesthetic patients choose to come to see me for something they want. Clay, you're a dentist. Of course. So they come to see you because they want something rather than you drilling a hole in their head.
Hey.
Believe I'm good at aesthetics. Dentistry works with I hate the dentist who was on the back foot. Yeah, I get that. Okay. So this is a job satisfaction thing. And I totally understand that. More fun, more holidays, more shopping, more life, good food. Brilliant. Love it. So engaging with that, understanding it is like, that there are some people who have come into the aesthetic entrepreneurs world as dentists and have not stayed dentists for very long. It's a job title. It's not, I think people talk about the difference between professions. It's a profession. I don't know. You tell me, Stevie. I think there are job titles and professions. What do you feel? Is dentistry, is that a profession or is it a job title?
If you'd have asked me about 3 years ago, I'd have been, it's a profession, it's a career, like that's part of who you are. But I just said that because everyone told me that. And now I'm like, no, that's the job that I do. But that doesn't define me as a person. But the trouble is, it is endemic in dentistry to believe that that is what defines you as a person. So
I agree.
Well done, Claire, on stepping out of that box.
Absolutely. But do you know what is a profession?
What?
Entrepreneurship.
Yes! There should have been some loud music there.
Entrepreneurship is a profession, and I didn't realise that until probably 5 years after I'd been in it. Because it's a weird word, isn't it? Entrepreneur, so French for self-employed, basically. And, what does it mean? And I've had some people say, even I found it difficult to square it away. It's like, oh, I'm not an entrepreneur because, Richard Branson was an entrepreneur and people like that. Mm-hmm. And it took a while for it to kind of settle. And it settled when I stopped giving a shit about what other people thought. Honestly, I felt quite self-conscious about it. Entrepreneur, who do you think he is? And then at the point where I stopped really giving a toss what other people thought, it really sat, and it sat well. Because I think you have to have a level of maturity to wear it. Mm-hmm. I honestly believe that. And you've got to have had the fuck kicked out of you a few times for it to be okay. And just a few bruises and bumps, and I'm like, yeah, do you know what? Actually, I am an entrepreneur. Why?
One of the most valuable things that so Coach Alan once said to me, I was like, oh well, I'm a pretty good runner. Can I call myself a good runner? And he was like, well, you can call yourself whatever you like. You can call yourself an entrepreneur. Like, just do it. And then the more you do that, you're like, oh yeah, I can actually just call myself whatever I like. Like, I can literally do that. Nobody cares. Like, that's fine. Okay, cool.
It's cool. It's all there. It's being comfortable with whatever it is that you're deciding to say. So one of the questions I asked you is, are you a dentist who's an athlete or an athlete who's a dentist?
Yeah. And I'm an athlete who's a dentist, which is why I now stand here and I say dentistry is not what defines you. It is a job, and you go home from it. You don't go home from being an athlete, ever. No. You never switch off from that.
No. You never switch off from being an entrepreneur. It's there. It's always there. And that's the difference. So, whatever it is you want to be it. Believe, behave, become, I think is the phrase. Believe you can do it, behave as if you are there.
When I started my coaching journey, I suddenly realised that as well. When I started coaching, I was like, oh wait, you just coach all the time. Like, you're just a coach. Like, you coach all the time.
There's, I need a coaching qualification. I think you can get them. I've looked at it. I've not really got around to it yet because I've not really run out of coaching, if you know what I mean. I've not run
out of wisdom yet. I don't need another certificate.
Yeah, I know because I've not stopped bollocksing things up and then working out how to do it properly. I have a never-ending supply of anecdotes and wisdom.
No, it's okay because I did you a certificate now, Rich. Okay.
Touche. Well done. I like that. Awesome. Right, on that note. So, we've explored I hope we've dug in, and well done, guys. Bloody hell, it's 50 odd minutes of really digging into that subject, and hopefully you've understood a little bit more about what it means, what it actually means to goal set. It's not just about coming up with an idea of like, right, this is what I'm going to do. For me, it's much more than that. It's about connecting with the emotional need, why you wanted to do it. Not about what it is you want to do, but why you want to do it. And if you've not quite got that, and you've not had that emotional reaction, we haven't gone deep enough yet. And if you just want any reference point to where you kind of should be, is I'll just draw you right back to Lou, to this comment here. This is now understanding what the goal is. The goal is to demonstrate to herself and to the world that she can be a success. Now it's a case of understanding what excellence looks like, what does the success bit look like, and then how do we get there. But the goal is now every morning she's going to wake up with that in her head and propels you forward. What do you say every morning, Stevie?
Montreal.
Why?
Because that's where the World Championships are.
Because that's where the World Championships are. Every morning I jump out of bed and I just think freedom. Why? Because I want that sense of open spaces, freedom, and being able to do where do I go today? What do I do today? What's this adventure going to be today? Never have drudgery in my life. So we ever go from it. Cool. Right. So what happens next? Where are we next? So if those of you who are in the AE membership program, well done. You should be congratulated on your foresight. Well done. Okay, you're not wearing dungarees, are you? Damn.
No.
I can't use Captain
Stop.
Insano.
Don't.
I'll save him for Thursdays. So moving in. So what we'll do now is just quickly take you through where you go next. So if you're in the AE membership group, so in the Facebook group, if you go into files, you will see this document, and this is to help walk you through the goal setting. So in here every month, so we're going to be doing this every month, just jumping straight in. Let me just make that a bit smaller. There we go. And we're going to ask you some questions, right? So we want you to reflect on, what's the last 30 days been like? What are the things that you are achieving? So we start to record your successes. What's been particularly tough? What's held you back? So we can start to record the things and the obstacles that you're facing. What are the tools and things that you're using to generate the success? Pop in some numbers so we can get an understanding of how the business is performing, revenue, costs, what you're paying yourselves, if you're not paying yourselves, because we can then take these steps towards you achieving your goals. And then we're going to break your goals down. Got business, family, and personal. Now, how the definition of goal setting that we use in AE is one called, DART. Hang on, let's put you back. Put Stevie back. Called DART. Burning desire. Actually, it's a decision. What you want to achieve, followed by a burning desire. Immediate massive action, repeated consistently for as long as it takes. The first part, the burning desire, we've got to find that. Then it's the immediate massive action. And this is where writing things down like this, your lists, jump back into it, will help you. No, that's not it. There we go. So writing these things down will really help to unpack what it is that you need to do. And you don't need to be massively detailed in it. It's just sometimes like a list. 3 things I want to do. 3 things I want to achieve. How am I going to make them happen? What am I going to do? And as you go through, what are the milestones that you're creating for it? So, for example, some simple things. Be a world champion. I'm sure there are performance goals all the way through that. Small steps that you break down to be able to achieve it. To open up businesses in different countries, to get black belts, to become financially independent. All these sorts of things. You have to just take it step by step, and that's what this is. This will help you break it down, because this is just a start. From here, it's the program that's going to help drive you through all of this. So the membership program, just let me bring it up, is, hey, look at that. Details of this, right? So in the comments, I'm going to put a little link in there. So if you're not in it, for you to jump in, it's £39 a month, right? Plus VAT. I'm a VAT registered business. If you're not, you should be, and you will be soon. So don't worry about that. What's that doing there? Don't worry about Principle 7. We'll get rid of that. There we go. So £39 a month, and what we're going to be doing in this is beginning every month we kick off with the actual workshop, this session, and then I will do a masterclass. Now, doing the masterclass is in the afternoon. They will be recorded if you can't make it. And what I'm going to do is I'll go through the whole goal setting methodology and help you to unpack it. You understand what you want to achieve. Then we're going to work through and help you to actually achieve it. And then the last week of it, you're going to get your accountability session. So you've got basically 3 masterclasses in 1 month and a workbook, plus everything else that's on the matrix around all of that. and your accountability session is with Stevie. And basically, you kind of need to turn up having done what you were going to do. Otherwise, you need to come up with a really good reason as to why you haven't done it. And it's not an aggressive thing. It's just a case of, I want you to finally break through all of these barriers. There's no point doing all of this and then not doing it. You know, being enthusiastic and signing up, we're going to do this, we're going to do that, and then we just let you drift, take the money, and you don't achieve anything. That's not how this game works. It's not how we play it at AE. If you want to ask anybody who's been involved with this, is that the game that we play? No, it's not. So yeah. So Stevie, tell me a little bit about the accountability session.
Well, basically, it will be exploring what goals you set yourself, talking about that kind of burning desire, but actually then saying what were the action plans that you made and did you execute those? So my entire job and work is basically making people accountable for themselves, and making sure that people are not making excuses for themselves as well. So again, it's not about being brutish, it's about turning up and saying what were the barriers, how did you overcome them, because you need to learn something from that moving forward. So yeah, like I say, turn up and having done the stuff, and if not, why not, and just being open and honest about it, and giving you some tough love perhaps if you need it.
Yeah, like I say, it's not there to kind of drive fear, but at the end of the day, there has to be some real kind of accountability to it. And we hear the same things over and over again. Oh, I haven't got time, I'm too busy. Mm-hmm. Well, if that's the case, then are you really focused on the right goal? That's the question I'd ask. Because if it's burning, get up a little bit earlier, go to bed a little bit later, find the time. 168 hours in a week. If you're focused, there's a lot you can achieve in that sort of time. And you might have to do it outside of hours. You might have to not watch a Netflix movie. You might have to do a few things. But at the end of the day, is if you're focused, you can do it. And bear in mind, it's 168 hours in a week. Some crap maths now. Someone out there multiply that by 4 and tell me how many there are in a month. I can't remember exactly what there are. But there's a lot of hours in a month. And, if you were to apply yourself for 20 of those hours, what could you achieve? Focused effort, discipline, consistency every single day. 1 hour of social media every day, it's 30 odd hours a month. How much are you doing at the moment, and is it consistent? Is it, I can't grow my business, I can't do this, I can't do that. You've got to come in with some honesty. And this week I've seen more social media posts coming out from people than I have done in the last month. Why? Because there's some Times article thing, about botulacs. So there's more communication going on about basically telling everybody off for using an unlicensed toxin than there is about people growing their own business. And this is common. It happens all the time. The crusade starts. That's bad. We want to save the world. Fuck that. Mm-hmm. Grow your business first, then save the world.
Yeah. The accountability as well, I think, it's about you being accountable to yourself. It's not about anybody else. Essentially, I like to be a mirror to people and say, tell me what you did, tell me what you didn't do, and tell me whether you think the reasons that you didn't do it are reasons, excuses, or what happened there. And it's just a sounding board and it's really important, and not enough people have that conversation with themselves. So you have to have it with somebody that can basically be be yourself back to you. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. So a message from Sean. Sean's been trying to sign up to Clarity. Been trying to log in for a week with no joy on desktop or mobile. Okay, no worries. Just drop. I'll log that, and we'll get that one sorted for you. If anybody else have any problems with Matrix or anything like that, just drop me a little bit of a PM. We have been doing some tweaks and changes to it up recently, so it might be misbehaving. But just let me know. We'll get you sorted. Cool. So, summary from here. This is where it starts, right? Or actually, it could also be where it ends. It's entirely up to you. But we're off on a journey now. The AE membership program is off and running. Started today. Every month, the beginning of every month, we're going to do a goal setting workshop just like this. Maybe about goal setting. It might be about something else. And then we're going to focus that month purely on solving that particular problem. And when you come out the other side, you're going to come out the other side better. So there we go. So, listen, guys, thank you very much. Thank you very much, Stevie. And thank you all out there for your attention and your engagement and your honesty. I feel we actually achieved something there, which was really quite cool. Doesn't happen on all of my Facebook lives, but I really think we had some quite nice breakthroughs there. So listen, guys, take care of yourself, and I will catch up with you all again pretty soon. Bye now.